हरि ओम। Nakshatra, one who is the Lord of the stars. Lord of the stars is the moon. Gita says, among the stars I am the moon. Adityanam Vishnu Sahasranam Chinmaya Nakshatranam Shashi. Gita 10:21. 442 Shamaha. One who is supremely efficient in all undertakings. One who has extreme patience with all the stupidities of the devotees. 443 Shamaha. One who ever remains without any scarcity. Shama. During the final release of things in the world dissolve and perishable. But even then the Lord remains untouched by all distinction and hence is called Swami. 244 Chinmayananda, one whose desires are auspicious. The Lord is considered as very desiring, in as much as he desires the well-being of all his creatures at all times. He knows how to control them and regulate his power of desiring Ichha Shakti, and thus he is extremely efficient in his creative activity. Samya Vegate iti Samyam, wishing well. Stanza 48. Yajne ijjo me yashcho putus satvam satamati sarvadarshi vimuktatma sarvajna gnanam. 445 Yajna, one who is of the nature of yajna. All sacrifices are his own forms. He exists as sacrifice in order to satisfy men and gods. Shruti says that all yajnas are of the nature of Vishnu, yajna Vishnu. 446 Poojya, one who is fit to be invoked through yajnas. Lord Narayana is the only one who is being invoked in all yajnas. Even when the devotee particularly invokes any other divine deity, he being the infinite, all goods, all gods are expressions of his own devotee and therefore irrespective of the deity invoked. All yajnas are worship of Vishnu. In Harivansha we read a declaration which openly reveals this truth. They who worship through holy scriptures, the devas or the pitros, they worship indeed through Vishnu, the self through the self. 447 Mahajjava, one who is to be most worshipped, one who most certainly is to be invoked in every ritual, because all other devatas invoked during the yajnas can each fulfill the seeker's desires, but to invoke Sri Narayana is to invoke the only power that can supply complete liberation for the devotee. Therefore, he is the object of the sacrifice. 448 Kratuhu, it is a kind of yaga wherein there is a pillar to which the sacrificial animal is tied. Since all sacrifices are offered to him, the Lord even Kratuhu, sacrifice with violence inherent in it, is also Vishnu. 449 Satram, the Lord who protects the good Sat. The word is dissolved as Satastrayate iti Satram. Satastrayate iti Satram. In continuation with the previous Kratu, When we read this, it can also be considered as indicating a particular kind of yajna described as satram in our Vedic literature. 450 Satanagati, one who is the refuge for the good people, one who is worshipped and invoked by those who wish to liberate themselves from all limitations in life. Gatini in Sanskrit means both the path and the road. Thus, through surrendering to the Narayana alone, does one reach Sri Narayana. 451 Sarvadarshi, all knowable, as he is the pure consciousness in all living creatures. All knowledge in all beings is illumined by him, just as the sun is the type of the universe. So the consciousness is the illuminator of everything. 452 Vimuktatma, the ever liberated self, the Supreme, though he expresses himself through the equipments. He is never conditioned by the matter environments through which he apparently expresses himself. Just as the waves rise, exist and dissolve in the ocean, the equipments of experiences rise, play and dissolve themselves in him. He is ever liberated, never shackled by gross matter. This great principle of Param is Sri Narayana. Shruti says, Upanishad 5.1. Purameka Dashadwara Majisya Uttachetasa Anushthayana Shochanti Vimuktashcha Vimuchate. 453 Sarvajnaha, omniscient, he is the principle of consciousness, and therefore he is the illuminator of all thoughts, all directions, motives, emotions, and all sense perceptions in an individual. The meaning is the same as in Sarvadashi. 454 Jnanamuttama, the supreme knowledge of all other knowledges. The self is the supreme knowledge, for without the consciousness no knowledge is possible. Taittiriya Upanishad indicates the self as Satyam, Jnanam, and Karma. Standa 49. Suratas, Sumutas, Sukshmas, Subhoshas, Sukadas, Surut, Manoharo, Jitakrodho, Veera, Vahu, Vidarana. 455 Surataha, the one who is ever performing the pure vow. It is a sacred vow of the Lord that he has to give shelter and protection to all those who totally surrender themselves into him. Says Shri Ramchandraji, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo Dadami Tat Vratam Mama, to give shelter to all living creatures. This is my vow. This term can also refer to him who had done tapas for a long number of years on the mount of Naranarayana in Badrinath. 456 Sumukha, one who has the enchanting face. Truth is beauty and beauty truth. In all conditions the Lord is ever cheerful and brings to his face the dignified beauty of calm repose. When the devotees come and surrender at his sacred feet, Narayan is the one of infinite mercy who beams with joy at the devotion of the surrender. 457 Sukshma, one who is subtler than the subtlest. In Vedanta terminology, subtlety indicates pervasiveness, therefore the term means all-pervasive. The Upanishad says the Lord is all-pervasive, subtler than the subtlest, sarvadatam susukshmam. 458 Subhoshaha, half auspicious Sati. This is the name of the conch that Krishna blew in the opening of the Mahabharata war. The sound of Vishnu is the essence of all Vedas, as all the four Vedas have come from him. The Supreme hence the term of auspicious sound. 459 Sukhadaha. One who confers happiness, which can also mean in Sanskrit, one who is the destroyer of joy, though to destroy. Here, of course, it means that one who gives joy to his devotees and takes away joy from those who are undivine. 460 Surat. The friend of all living creatures. A true friend is one who gives all that he possesses without expecting any return. 461 Manohara. One who is the looter of the mind or charming. Not only is the Lord beauty incarnate, but he compels the attention of the devotee to come away from all other sense objects, to dwell upon his enchanting form. Thus Vishnu is one who generates an irresistible joy in the mind of his devotees and compels them to spend their time in constant worship. 462 Chitapurana. One who has conquered anger. By the one term here, anger, we should consider all the six inner enemies: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These six constitute the types of thoughts in man, the six categories into which all his mental activities fall. One who has conquered all these means one who is beyond the mind, the self. 463 Veerabahu. One having mighty, valiant arms. From time to time, he has to incarnate in order to put down the wicked and thereby protect the good. 464 Vidarana. One who splits asunder, destroys in the man-lion form, Narasimha. Lord Vishnu appears to tear open and kill Hiranyakashipu, again in order to destroy Hiranyaksha and to lift the earth from the ocean. Then Narayan had to take the form of the great god Varaha. Accordingly, in the Sanskrit vocabulary, Bhu-Lahara is a synonym for god, Varaha. The Dara means to split or to tear open. Dara means to split or tear open. Thus the meaning of the divine word is squeezed out from the term Vidarana is here. Stanza 50 Swapana Svosho Vyapi Naikatma Naikakarmakut. Vatsalo Vatsi Ratnagarbo Dhaneshwara. 465 Swapana. One who puts people to sleep, stupefying Lord Vishnu as Ishvara, has to himself the total, as for himself the total Vasana, Maya, as an equipment for his self-expression, as Ishvara Narayana. He, through his Maya, wills each individual and renders them ignorant of their own divine nature. This very power, our Shakti, creates many agitations which shape up, due to which individuals rush out for. Since he is the supreme consciousness, all living creatures and phenomena powers are functioning by His grace, drawing their capacities to exist and act from Him only. If He withdraws His patronage, everything in the universe must stop functioning immediately. He is supremely independent inasmuch as, though the world of objects needs Him, He is entirely self-sufficient and needs no world for His existence. Thus He is totally free. The waves need the ocean, but the ocean is totally independent of the waves' existence. 467. Vyapi. All pervading, it is all pervading. Pervasiveness in philosophy indicates subtlety. Thus, all pervading means that which is subtler than the subtlest. This concept is again sustained by the physical observations in the world. The cause always pervades all the effects. The gold pervades all in ornaments. The entire universe is the effect and He being the cause, He pervades all and everything at all times. Thus, the all-pervading in its suggestion indicates that He is the ultimate cause and Himself in His pervasiveness is ever present everywhere and in everything, presiding over all various actions and work everywhere in the universe. 468. Naikatma, many soul. Lord the infinite, though ever in whatever the one, expresses Himself as the many, while manifesting Himself in the form of the universe. It is He, the one great consciousness, that expresses Himself as the Creator, Sustainer and Destroyer, in order to maintain the play of the eternal dance among the phenomena things and lives. He who becomes the Trinity is the great Vishnu Tattva. 469. Naika Karmakrit, the one who does many actions, as He is the one Lord of all evolution, preservation and involution of the universe. Where He is Lord, no activity can ever take place. 470. Vatsaraha, the word of Lord. Not only Lord is living in each one of us as our inner soul, Antaryami, but He is at once the all-pervading essence in which the entire universe exists, and as such He alone is the abode in which we live, breathe and act. Thus, as the abode of the creatures, He is the endless time and the infinite space at once. For the time-space field alone do, for in time-space alone field alone do things exist. The term Vatsa in Sanskrit also means calf. The word under discussion therefore can also mean one who gives away calves. This has reference to Krishna, who returned to the Gopals all the cows when they were taken away by the enemy. Here, in this sense, the term will be reserved as Vatsan Rati, iti Vatsara. 471. Vatsalah, the supremely affectionate, one who loves his devotees extremely. Narayana is one who has got more affection towards his devotees than all the paternal and maternal love in the world put together. Supreme love is the meaning of the word Vatsalah. Lord Narayan is love incarnate. 472. Vatsi, the Father, one who has infinite number of children. Lord children. Lord considers the entire living kingdom as his own children and nurses and nourishes them. It can also be interpreted as one who trains and protects the cows in the herd. 473. Ratnagarbha, the jewel wound like the ocean, one who has rich wealth concealed in himself. Vishnu Sahasranam, Gita 10:24. 473. Ratnagarbha, the jewel wound lies like the ocean, one who has rich wealth concealed in himself. On the whole, the term Ratnagarbha only means that the Lord is quick in his bestowing all the desired objects on his devotees. 474. Dhaneshwara, the Lord of Wealth. Here the term wealth means all the good things in the universe, also objects of happiness. He is described in the Puranas as the Lord of the goddess Lakshmipati, and as such, he is ever the master of all wealth. The greatest of wealth is, of course, the liberation, and Lord Narayan is the Ishwar of this greater wealth. He blesses the true devotees with the experience of complete liberation from the entanglements and sorrows of the vestures of wild matter around us. Stanza 51. Dharmabhut, Dharmi, Sadasat, Sharam, Sharam, Avednata, Sahasranam, Shurvidata, Pathalakshana. 475. Dharmaguk, one who protects the Dharma in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord says, in every cycle I shall manifest for re-establishing Dharma. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yudhaya. Yuge. Gita 4:8. 476. Dharmakrut, one who acts Dharma, though he has the absolute consciousness that illuminates everything, is beyond all Dharma and Adharma. Sri Narayanam exemplifies what is the righteousness of his own conduct. He is therefore called as Dharma Pravartaka. In the various incarnations, the Lord has exemplified how the generation should live under the ever-changing kaleidoscopic pattern of circumstances that play around us at all times. 477. Dharmi, the supporter of Dharma. Meaning the very seat of all dharma. Just as the waves exist in the ocean, just as the cotton supports the ocean, just as all the ornaments exist in ocean. So, Sri Narayana, the infinite truth, is the very essence and support of the entire universe. Narayana is the throne at which all righteousness take their refuge without direct reference to Him and His glory. Righteousness has no meaning, just as law books of a country are empty pages when the government falls. 478 Sat, the existence in all things and beings is the same ever, and it is all pervading. The sun exists, the space between the sun and the earth exists, the ocean and the creatures therein exist. Thus, physiological organs and all functions exist. Is called Satpurush. In the Upanishads, the Supreme Brahman is indicated as Satya. Thus, Poojya indeed was Sat. This Poojya indeed was Sat. Sadeva Swami Damagrasi. Chandogya Upanishad 6.2. In the Gita, while describing the changeless factor behind the eternally changing matter, Bhagavan says that Bhagavan says that which is the all-pervading in this world, that alone is indestructible, and no other can destroy it. Avinashitu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Gita 2:17. 479 Asat, the conditioned, limited, and the one who appears at this moment as the limited, conditioned, and therefore confined only to the world of plurality, that which actually is not, but apparently seems to be there, is called a delusion, and this is indicated by the word asat. In Vedantic terminology, higher self, Param, is ever immutable and eternal, while the lower self, Aparam, constituted of all the universe of manifested things and beings, is mutable and ephemeral. Chinmayananda himself is, in his upper nature, expressing as the world of the many that we today recognize around us. Bhagavan Shri Krishna confesses to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, I am at once immortality and mortality. I am both existence and non-existence. Amritam chaiva mrityuscha sadasacchaham Arjuna. Gita 9:19. 480 Param, the perishing, one who is the very immutable self in all things, that appears to suffer from constant mutation. The changeless core is the core in the midst of all the changes, all the changeable and variable things and beings of the universe. Play in him who who is the only substratum, and therefore the immutable eternal reality is called here as the mutable. The changing and the dying waves are all ever nothing but the changeless ocean indeed. 481 Aksharam, imperishable. In order to recognize the change, there must be a changeless entity, knowing it, knowing it. If one ornament is to become another, there must be indeed the changeless consistent gold permanently supporting it all the time. With the same, in the same way, there must be a changeless factor, which must be essential core, which must be the essential core that holds together the pattern of the constant changes, which together constitute the play of the universe. Thus, changeless factor, this changeless factor is called Narayana. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, all creatures together constitute the Kshara Purush, and the changeless in all creatures is the Akshara Purush. Ksharas Sarvani Bhutani, Kutasto Ksharochate. Gita 15:16. 482 Avednata. The non-knower. Here we must carefully understand the term knower. The knower of the emotions and thoughts is the self, imprisoned in the body, mind and intellect, and therefore functioning as the perceiver, feeler, thinker, called in the Vedanta Shastra as the Jiva. This individualized personality is the doer and the enjoyer in the calamitous world of activities. The Narayan is the pure self who has not been committed or contaminated by the matter, gestures and their agitated nature, and the consequent sorrows. Therefore, Vishnu, the pure self, is indicated here as non-knower, Vijnatma, Vijnata, meaning the Jiva. 483 Sahasranshu, the Sahasranshu, 483 Sahasranshu, the thousand veiled as the pure consciousness is effulgent, and in the Upanishads we read that even the sun, moon and stars gain their effulgence from him alone. In fact, the Upanishads include that all living creatures are resplendent after the effulgence alone, after his effulgence alone. Or we can say that it means Sri Narayan in the form of the sun. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya vasa sarvamidam vibhati. Mundokopanishad 2.2.10. Or you can say that it means Sri Narayan in the form of the sun. Humans and nourishes the world of action, world of living, the world of living creatures, because the name of the sun is Sahasranshu. In praising the Lord Sun, it is praising the Lord's Son, it is usual to sing of him as Surya Narayana. 484 Vidhata, all supporter, as the final substratum for everything. The Lord supports the entire universe in living of the universe of living creatures, and nobody supports him. He alone is his own support. The Lord is at once the material, instrumental, and the efficient cause for the universe of forms. 485 Vitalakshana. One who is famous because of 6 qualities such as glory, righteousness, fame, wealth, knowledge, and detachment. Aishwaryam, Dharma, Yashashta, Shrivi, Jnanam, Vairagya. Again, following the Puranic literature, Sri Narayana is to be in literature. The Sri Narayana is the one who made his own bosom, the great mark of the feet of Maharishi Guru. In fact, from the standpoint of pure Vedanta, the term indicates the everlasting, ever-existing pure consciousness, which is the very goal, Lakshana, to be ultimately achieved for liberation. Lakshana also means the scriptural textbooks, and therefore the term also can mean he who is the author, Krita, of the scriptures, Lakshana. Stanza 52. Gavasti Nemis Satvastas Simho Bhuta Maheshwara Adidevo Mahadevo Devesho Devavrut Guru. 486 Gavasti Nemi. The center of the supreme planetary system. The Sanskrit term Gavasti means rays, and the term Nemi means the spokes. Therefore, the term indicates one who is the hub of the field of light, in which the spokes are his own rays of brilliancy. Astronomically, we can consider this as the sun, the center of the planets, the center of the planetary system. Subjectively, he is the Atman, the self, the effulgent consciousness beaming out himself to the worlds of matter, the 5 oceans. 487 Sattvastha, abiding in Sattva. Maya is constituted of the 3 gunas: inactivity Sattva, activity Rajas, and inactivity Tamas. It becomes the vehicle for the Supreme Brahman to express as Lord Sri Narayana. The rise and fall of man came of Upanishad introduction. The Lord is essentially constituted of the Sattva-guna, and therefore he is pure truthfulness in nature, Shuddha Satya Swarup. It can also mean he who remains stho in all beings, Sattva. 488 Chinmaya. The lion, due to his great exploits in fighting the negative forces during his various incarnations, he is indicated Simha here might mean a part of the Lord's name as Narasimha. Narayan has taken the form of the man lion in order to end the tyranny of Hiranyakashipu and bless his God devoted son Prahlad. 489 Bhuta Maheshwara, the great Lord of beings, one who is the Lord, who orders, commands, regulates and presides over all activities of all living creatures, and hence is ever the ruler of all creatures. 490 Adideva, the first deity, or it can also mean one who is the first Adi and one who is a resplendent Deva. Further, we can also take it to mean that he is the first Deva, meaning he is the God of all gods. The term Adi also means one who eats. The term Deva can mean one who evolves. Thus, the term can mean one who evolves in eating up. By consuming the names and forms, this implies that to the extent one withdraws himself from his false occupations with the pursued names and forms, he moves deeper and deeper into the experience of the divine Lord in himself with this idea in mind. Lord is described by this term, one who evolves in consuming the names and forms. 491 Mahadeva, the great deity. He is the source of all consciousness, and from him have arisen all further deities and beings. Therefore it is right to consider him as the Supreme Lord. 492 Devesha, the Lord of all Devas. He is the very consciousness in the gods themselves. Therefore, in his unquestionable prominence, he is addressed here as God of all gods. 493 Deva Dhrit Gurudev, one who is the king of gods, Indra Devavrit, and one who is the teacher, Guru. In short, he is the protector and advisor of the very Indra, who is the king of gods. Stanza 53 Uttaro Gopatir Gopta Jnanagamya Puratana Sharira Bhuta Bhutbhokta Kapindro Bhuri Lakshanam. 494 Uttara, one who helps to lift us from Uttara, the ocean of Samsara. It also conveys the most excellent meaning of one who is greater and nobler than all other deities. Rigveda declares he is the most excellent of all. 495 Vishwasmat Indraha Uttaraha, Rigveda 10.86.1. 495 Gopatihi, the shepherd, as one who played the part of a cowherd in his Krishna incarnation. The term Go in Sanskrit has got four meanings: the cattle, the earth, the speech, and the Vedas. In all these meanings, he is the Lord Pati, Lord of the cattle, Lord of earth, Lord of speech, and Lord of above, and the Lord about whom all the Vedas speak of as the very good. 496 Bhokta, the protector, He is the protector of all living creatures, inasmuch as if he were not there, the creatures could not exist. He is the very existence in the living kingdom. 497. Jnanagamya, the one who is to be attained only through the subtle perception of jnana. He is not attained either by actions or by progeny or by will. Only through ajnana prasadena, pure knowledge alone he is experienced. Here the word knowledge does not mean the ordinary knowledge of things. The experience of truth is gained only on transcending the intellect, thus crossing the barriers of non-apprehension, avidya. The meditator comes to apprehend the reality. This subjective first-hand apprehension is called true knowledge. Jnana, by this one process alone, can one attain the infinite, hence this term. 498. Puratana, he who was even before time, that from which even the concept of time itself rose up, is the infinite truth, and therefore the truth cannot be measured in terms of time. Therefore it is called the ancient, for he transcends time. 499.
जय श्री राम जय रघुराम जानकी जीवन सुंदर राम देवगणार्चित